Hello people, welcome back to my channel. My name is Martha aka Gift aka Mama BK, and I am the one and only original Mrs. Mayeke. If you're new on this channel, welcome, and if you are my returning subscriber, I thank you so very much for always being there to support me, guys. Usually on this our channel we talk about Dubai, everything Dubai, the good, the bad and the ugly, and I guess today we are here to talk on something good about Dubai. We are here to talk on gratuity in Dubai. Are you in the UAE? Are you planning to come to the UAE? Are you still in Africa? Do you want to secure a job in the UAE? Do you know the word gratuity? Because for me, before coming to the UAE, I knew little or nothing about gratuity, but all thanks to the UAE. Now I know of the word gratuity. I know of the importance of gratuity. I know who is eligible to receive gratuity, and I know when you are eligible to receive gratuity. So guys, join me. Let's talk more on this. Let's enlighten each other. Let me tell you what I know about gratuity, and let's see who is considered as a domestic worker, because today I'll be really emphasizing on domestic workers, because the UAE just reviewed the gratuity pay of a domestic worker in the UAE. Did you know there are 18 different professions that are considered as domestic workers in the UAE? Are you under those professions and you didn't know about it? Do you know you are a domestic worker without you knowing? Okay, Martha is here to enlighten someone, and I want to thank all my viewers, guys. You guys are top notch. Thank you all so much. Okay, the word gratuity means, guys, gratuity is a sum of money that is being paid by an employer to an employee at the end of a certain period of employment, at the end of his or her contract. So it's usually 20% of the actual pay. So that is gratuity. So if you're coming to the UAE, bear in mind that at the end of your contract, you will be receiving gratuity. But in case termination of your contract, in case your employer decides to breach a contract, he or she is supposed to pay you compensation for breaching that contract. And the UAE has made it easy for everyone to understand. Everything is available online. So whatever you have doubts on, if you're here in the UAE or you're planning to come to the UAE, always have it in mind. Whatever crisis you're facing, go straight online. Go straight and do your research to know what is happening to you, what you can do, and how to go about it. Everything is online, and you must get a solution there. So guys, as I was saying, if your employer breaches your contract or terminates you without any valid reason, he or she is supposed to pay you as a domestic worker. If your salary is 2,000 dirhams, he or she is supposed to pay you 2,000 dirhams, as in a full month salary, plus, or let me say, alongside your gratuity. And that gratuity, as I said earlier on, is 20% of your actual pay, calculated as per the period of time you have worked, because he or she is the one breaching that contract. And it is vice versa. If you are breaching that contract, you're paying that employer. If your salary is 2,000, you're paying that employer 2,000 as well, as compensation for breaching your contract. So now, talking about a domestic worker. Who is a domestic worker? And how many professions are considered as domestic workers in the UAE? Like I said, we have 18 different professions that are considered as domestic workers in the UAE. Oh my goodness, guys, I'm sorry. They're about to pray. We are in the UAE, and as usual, this is their country, and hearing the word domestic worker, one would say it's limited only to a house help, a maid, but no. 18 professions are under domestic workers as per UAE labor law, and they are as follows: housemaid, Private sailor, yes. A private sailor is a domestic worker in the UAE. Watchman and security. A watchman and a security are all under the category of a domestic worker. A household shepherd is also a domestic worker. A family chauffeur is also a domestic worker in the UAE. Also, guys, household horse groomer is a domestic worker in the UAE. Household falcon caretaker is also a domestic worker in the UAE. Take note, guys. A trainer, a housekeeper, they all fall under the category of a domestic worker in the UAE. Did you guys know that a private coach and a private teacher, they all fall under the category of domestic workers in the UAE? And a babysitter is a household farmer, all fall under the category of domestic workers in the UAE. A private nurse, a private PRO, they all fall under the category of domestic workers in the UAE. Guys, did you know a private agriculture engineer falls under the category of domestic workers in the UAE? The last but not the least, a driver. They all fall under the category of a domestic worker in the UAE. So who are you? Where are you? Did you know you are a domestic worker in the UAE? Thanks, guys. We've come to the end of this video. See you guys when next I upload another video. Please do not forget to share. And also check out our business page on Facebook known as Boseme Fashion. We deal with ladies' bags and shoes. Patronize us. Thank you all so much. See you guys when next I upload another video. Ciao.